Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. It's a Christmas special, basically. It's no looking very festive. None of us none of us have dressed for the occasion, but this will be coming to you live on the 23rd of December, which means it is Christopher time, I was about to say, or something there. Christmas time. So we hope you're enjoying it. If you've got time off, then savour it. Enjoy those beers. You deserve it. Welcome to 100 and episode. I can't speak today. Welcome to episode 127 of the Celtic the Thunder podcast, where I'm joined by my two fantastic guests. Starting to the left of me, he's back, Mr. Kieran Auld. Kieran, how are you?
Just about survived the bout of illness I had.
We did tell everybody that you were dying.
I was fucked.
They've been sending their prayers. The Thunder Club members were very concerned.
Oh, thank you for your concern, but I beat it. So that's all that matters. I mean, I came back from Zagreb riddled with a cold, and then I was stricken down with a sickness bug as well.
Mystery illness.
I wonder what's coming next.
Well,
they come in threes.
It's back to Parkhead on Thursday. So, I mean, everybody was talking about the Hampden flu, which seems to be what you had.
I think I started it.
Don't out yourself as project as patient zero.
Your section's just got to be empty next game.
I know, so we'll see if you pick it up at Parkhead, but please don't. I would like to avoid being ill this Christmas time. I really don't want to. And to the left of Kieran, we've got, once again, Mr. Dylan Murdoch. Dylan, how are you?
Aye, better. Been a long week, but aye, looking forward to Christmas and talk about Celtic. I don't know if that's a good thing today, but aye.
I know it's weird that we're actually in the studio on a day where Celtic have played, because it never usually happens. Just to clarify for people who might be wondering, we usually record on a Thursday. We couldn't record this Thursday for two reasons. Number one, my car, I didn't get it back in time from the MOT, so we had no way of getting here. And number two, I think it got down to, was it just me and you who were available to do it? Was it me and Calum?
No.
And you? Was it me? It was two of us anyway, put it that way. So I was like, you know what, we may as well save it. We'll save it to Sunday, which is so happened to be a day where Celtic are playing football. Not very good football. Which we're going to get into, but it's strange. Sorry to drag you out your bed on I know it's the Lord's Day.
I know. Should be a day of rest, the Sabbath. But
did you have any better plans?
I mean, maybe.
Make me feel great, why don't you? No, we're going to be here for the next hour or so. We're going to talk about everything that's happened over the past few days, and today in particular, and preview the week ahead. So stay with us. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, make sure and rate the show 5 stars. It would be very much appreciated, and follow us. Today, Celtic went up to Tannadice and didn't come back with 3 points. For only the second time this season, we drop points as we drew 0-0 in what was quite a boring game. Now, Dylan, I know you were working for it, lucky for you, so I'll start with Kieran. What was it today? What went wrong? Was it the absence of players? Did that add into things? Was it just the fact we didn't approach the game with any form of urgency? It was a bad day at the office. How would you go for it?
I mean, I feel like there's so many points you could hit here. I mean, you've obviously got the main one, I think, is the lack of intensity for 70 minutes in that game. I mean, obviously, even in the last 20 minutes, it wasn't great, but at least we were trying to do something with it. Up to that, we were just happy to be passing the ball about. And Dundee United were happy to be sitting off us, knowing that we weren't creating anything, really. We might have had 9 shots in that first half, but only one of them on target, and then up until the last 20 minutes, they had more shots on target than we did. So, considering how much of the ball we had, it's pretty inexcusable, I'd say. But yeah, as you also said going into the game, I think more than a few eyebrows were raised at the selections. Obviously, it was then explained why certain players were not in the squad, but it's one of the things we've spoke about what the squad depth is like at Celtic, and we've praised it at times this season, but we did also flag that we're strong in certain positions, but you take a few key people at that team and you can probably see that what's happened today it's no really a surprise when you take players like Kuhn out the equation. Defensively we never had too much today, but it's always starting about playing it out for the back. You had a lack of risks being taken, and I don't want to harp on at certain people, but I mean you've got people like Stephen Welsh that maybe wasn't taking that chance to try and play the ball that would split the lines, and the sort of quality you would get was usually for Carter Vickers and Trusty. It was missing today, and you can't just single out that position. It was all out of the park, but players weren't performing. Big chances being, I don't even want to say missed, because the one I'm thinking wasn't even taken.
Technically not even a miss.
A shot was not taken. That Kyogo chance will surely haunt him as much as it will haunt the rest of us, but I think, as you said, a bad day at the office. I'm not going to completely lose the heat at it. There was a lot of changes made. Certain players maybe flagged up that they might not have the future at Celtic, and I'm sure we'll come into that later on.
Yeah, Dylan, when you walked through the door and we said hello to each other and we spoke about the game at first, you said that a result like this was coming, and it has felt like that. It's been a lot of football for Celtic over the past month or so, with Champions League games, with the Cup final. I mean, we played 120 minutes last week. Just generally a very busy time of year when things do get maybe a wee bit difficult to manage, and you've obviously got to bring in players from the dark, and it has maybe been coming. These performances have been getting a little bit drier. So you weren't exactly shocked, maybe?
No, definitely no, because it's that way. I think I seen the team sheet when I was at work as well, and it's like you already looked at the team sheet and like, there's a lot of changes. So I know it's obviously expected, as you said, 120 minutes, a lot of busy December, a good amount of changes. But we've seen it. We were talking about it as well. The Hibs game wasn't a vintage performance. The last couple of weeks has just not been Celtic standard, no properly like high intensity, lots of chances. Played good in the cup final and that as well at times, but just didn't feel like it felt like a result of this was coming. But it's not the end of the road. It's just that way. It's still 9 points clear, but I think we were talking about in the podcast. You want to go to Ibrox with that gap as big as possible. So just need to make sure. Obviously, next game's at home, so that should hopefully be a 3 points. And going to the Ibrox game, just no drop any more points and back to winning ways.
I feel like it's hard, Kieran, to kind of balance yourself in these moments, because one side of you is very, very disappointed and angry that the side haven't been playing football that you're used to, and we started the season so well, and it's maybe dipped a wee bit. But the other side of you've got to balance it out by saying, well, we're 16 games into a league campaign, we've only dropped points twice, Tannadice a hard place to go, Dundee United have been really, really good this season by all accounts. So there is like kind of two ways to look at it, but I think it's just, I don't know. What do you think it is? Do you think it is just the actual football getting played that gets people down the most? I still feel guilty saying that though. I know. It's a hard one.
We're talking about like the distance between ourselves and Rangers. Obviously, it's still 9 points. So
huge. A bit handoff for that.
I mean, I feel like we have sort of took our foot slightly off the gas in maybe the past 3-4 weeks, but we've gave ourselves this cushion by the way we've played all season. So if you look at it collectively, that's the reason we've got ourselves to thank that we're in this position. But it's this time of year that I feel like you sort of start to see the cracks appear in certain places, because I mean last year this time we were getting beat off Hearts at home and dropping points, and
Kelly.
That's how we dragged ourselves into a title race last year. So you just want to avoid any sort of snowballing of results. I don't think there will be, but it's just about dusting yourself off after the day, and maybe this was the kick up the arse we needed, because as Dylan said, this result has been coming. I think everybody's maybe not been shouting about it, but I think quietly people have been thinking we've been pretty poor in that game. You're talking about Hibs, even though we won, the scoreline maybe flattered us that day.
It definitely did.
So you've been looking at these results, and Tannadice, probably you could have flagged up beforehand saying, that might be one to, even before the game, before we've seen the team, like this is going to be a hard one today, just the way we knew that going in, the way we've been playing. But it's frustrating, because as we said, you want to put as much a distance between ourselves and Rangers as you can, but I think it's just about putting it behind us, going on to Boxing Day, and hopefully we can see a wee turnaround. And a stronger 11 on the pitch.
I might be jumping the gun a wee bit here. I'll come to you first, Dylan. I might be jumping the gun a wee bit here before we start talking about specific players and maybe whose form isn't exactly great at the minute. Do you think today is maybe all the proof that the Celtic board will need, that Brendan Rodgers will need, that not only is December a busy month, but January should be a busy month, that we need reinforcement? Because we were missing just a few names: Johnston, Vickers, Trusty, Valley. Who else was gone again? Kuhn. That was just 5 of the first team players we were missing today. I think it was a couple of others. Do you think that that's just the proof there today, that performance, that we need strength in numbers?
Yeah, definitely. I said that today at the boy in the work. I was like, obviously you can't win every game, but it's that way. I said, obviously this shows like there's people that had the chance to prove themselves today as well, because obviously the January window's coming up, so you can look at players like, we could probably come on here, but there's people like Yang starting the day, Welsh, all these players that have not had much game time, who had a chance to prove themselves, and just nobody's really sticking out. So it's just that way. Forrest injured as well. January's coming up. You probably want to look at the wings, maybe even right back. Like, I thought Ralston was quite good in the cup final when he came on, to be fair, but just these sort of players, it's like you need to be strong, especially in the Champions League as well when the game's coming up. I know we're looking at Kieran Tierney, but it'll be interesting to see what we do in January, but I think games like this do show what we're needing to fix what's coming up.
I mean, there's a few today, isn't there, that have been capturing the thoughts of Celtic fans, especially in the wings, where, you know, I feel bad because this may be the Christmas specials, maybe all cheery and
we can get onto the Christmas cheer after we've
dissected today. Yeah, there was a few people who just. People, I don't know where that came from. There's a few people today that let us down. Where do you start? I mean, you touched on it, the Kyogo miss. I mean, I feel like one of the biggest things I've seen on social media since the conclusion of the game is, when do we start having the conversation? Should the conversation start? It's nuts. His form's just went off a cliff.
The amount of big chances this season Kyogo has missed has been criminal, but I mean, I love him.
Oh, same.
I feel like I've been his
bits.
number one fan, but you can't bury your head in the sand and say that he's not been pretty off the boil this season. Maybe a politer way to put it, but it's just infuriating because we said this the last time we had to discuss Kyogo, and we said it's frustrating because you know the levels he's capable of. You don't know what it is that's holding him back this season, because 2 seasons ago, all the chances he had today are getting put in the back of the net. So what has changed? Because I mean, when Rodgers first came in, the conversation was, does this system fit Kyogo?
Yeah.
And do you think that's got to be something that gets?
But listen, I was literally going to
chances now.
Yeah. I was going to bring up the exact same point to the two of you. I literally was about to say, I got a comment today on my video, somebody saying, why are we acting like we don't know what the problem with Kyogo is? We know what the problem with Kyogo is. It's Brendan Rodgers football. Are we not past that point? I don't think we can use that anymore.
Well, we could say that last season when he was genuinely no getting a sniff in games, but like you can look at every game this season that he's played. He's been getting chances, and obviously he's scored. I don't know how many goals he's scored.
6, I think.
For Kyogo, that's poor.
Yeah.
Right? And it's because we know how good he can be, and I think it's not even trying to pure harp on it, the guy. It's like we're disappointed in the way he's playing because we know that he can reach that level and cement himself as a number one striker, and you won't have to have this debate between him and Ida, but he's making it quite difficult.
It's that way as well. We know what Kyogo, like, even though we know what he prefers, like the running the box, the tap-ins, the movement, but we know Kyogo, even last season we were worried about the way he would play under Rodgers when Ange left, but you've seen that Kyogo's capable of playing different types of ways as well. He's more than capable, like, even the games against Rangers last season, the goals outside the box, even this season, there's so many ways he can score, and it's just definitely something missing, because we know, that's what Kyogo, we know what he's like, so...
I had a belter comment today on my video as well. Somebody was like, oh, I know what the problem is. When I was his age, or when I was in school, I had a haircut like him, and it does get in your eyes. I was like, I don't think it's that, mate. You don't think that's the issue.
He needs to go and get a baldy, is what I'm saying.
But I don't, just something, I think this is where we're going to get into January now, and people are going to start this big conversation of, is it because he wants away? Is it 1 foot out the door? Is he not playing with the passion anymore? He changed agents, so he's desperate to go. There was the links with Manchester City. I don't know if I necessarily buy into all that, but there is something off about him, and I don't know what it is, because we can talk about him maybe not suiting a system, but at the end of the day, a striker's job is to score goals one way or another. And I have seen, and I think that you could probably make a compilation of the chances that he's missed from getting into the positions he should and not taking them. And that's not down to the system, that's down to his own ability. So I don't know where the conversation starts and ends coming up to January with the strikers, because I don't think any of them are necessarily making the point that they're the one. Because he didn't exactly light the world up with his performance off the bench, but I felt there was
he done well to set Kyogo through for that chance that he obviously that he just never took a swipe at. But nah, I don't know, because see, if you told me a couple of years ago we'd be sat here having this conversation about Kyogo, I wouldn't have believed you, because you know what he's capable of, and it's just, it really is annoying. But how do you move forward? Because I've even seen people saying, should we sell? I'm pretty sure that's a question that we got asked in the Twitter, something about selling Kyogo. I'm like,
it wouldn't be on the top of my list, put it that way.
Like, I don't think that's a priority for Celtic coming into January.
And that's the thing, it's like, if you do sell him, like, you're not guaranteeing somebody to come in and score goals. Like we've done this dance before with strikers once we've lost somebody big. So I honestly don't know what the answer is. I think everybody's a wee bit dumbfounded with what's happened to him this season. And
it's that way as well. If you're a striker, like the main thing is score goals. So is he feeling the pressure of these droughts that he's having? That maybe. But
has he got in his own head?
Because strikers can get like that. But
because I was going to say, is it a case of do you think if he scores a couple, it'll bounce him back into form? Is it as simple as that?
See, we've said that, and he has scored, and then he's just not followed up. I mean, we were sitting making
he scored the goal, the third goal in it or something. Was it the Hibs game?
Maybe.
Because so.
We were sitting making the jokes. Brendan lets him post a TikTok if he scores a goal.
That's right. And because I said the striker's form was wank, and then both of them scored. So maybe I just need to do that again.
Say that again.
Wank. You've been wank. And no, it's baffling. So I hope he pulls that back soon. I think today there was another couple of people whose performances maybe put the nail in the coffins of their Celtic careers. Been a lot of conversation surrounding the wingers, Yang, Luis Palma, who both didn't exactly make the best of their opportunities. I
think Yang was maybe just a passenger in the game and wasn't really up for it. I think the thing that annoyed me with Palma is when he came on the park, even on commentary they were saying, at least he's looking a wee bit alive, he's trying to do something, but that quickly wore off a couple of minutes to him being on the park, and he reverted back to his old ways. What we used to talk about when he got starts at Celtic was he always wants to cut inside. He never leaves the full-back guessing, am I going to go to the byline or am I going to cut inside? Their right-back knew exactly what he was going to do, and he was showing him down the wing because it wasn't going to happen. He cuts inside, gets the ball taken off him. It was just so predictable. When we needed somebody to just try and get a ball in, even take the corner, where was he? He was just passing it back, and I feel like that was the problem with a lot of the team that day. There was just no creativity, no willingness to make the runs. People weren't getting their head up and finding these passes. It was all just pretty robotic, and it was reminiscent of a couple of the performances this time last year. And I'm sure that would have been a worrying thing for most fans, but it's just about getting ourselves out of it now. But some of the players, as you said, I think maybe did buy their plane ticket somewhere else.
I mean, even when you were in work, I'm sure that when you heard about the substitutions, you maybe made a little bit of a sigh. The drop off is quite alarming. Because that's the thing. I think if Kuhn and Johnson are on the park today on that right hand side, I do believe we'd probably get a goal. It's just the drop off from them to Ralston and Yang is alarmingly bad. So there's work to be done, but you just want these players to take their chances.
That's what you're hoping. That's why we've seen people even me as well. I've defended them sometimes. They'll come good, or they'll have a moment of magic here or there this season. But we're talking about there. This is a game. This is a perfect opportunity. Going for the bench and a nut in each game, just spark your career back into life at Celtic if you want to be here, and it's just not happening. And talk about the subs, you're seeing it, and I'm seeing it in day to work. Hopefully Palmer comes on and scores a goal, realises his career, but it's been a long time now, and it's just not happening. We've seen moments of magic from at the start of last season and that, but it just feels like it's just not going to happen. Well, we've seen the hat trick in the friendly game this season. Could that be Palmer back? We've seen a wee bit of good hangman against Atlanta, but it feels like he's just ran out of time now. It's just this is players that we're talking about. Forrest being injured. If you're relying on Forrest, right, then you'll come to them. Champions League, what if we need a goal and you're bringing them on again? If you can't do it at this level, what chance you go to Champions League?
Nah, I know. It's especially so close to January. You're like, this is the chance. This is it. you know, it's now or never for your career. And
it's the fact as well. I mean, if Forrest is out for that long, it's not like previous seasons where we can say, right, we've got quite a wee break in January to sort of get ourselves back together. We don't have that this year. If anything, January's more hectic than December.
Yep.
So,
exactly. It's the winter break.
It's like we've not really got a chance to recharge it in this season. It's go. And if players aren't willing to put in the effort, step up to the mark when called upon, then I'm afraid they're going to be getting punted in January and replaced.
It's just one of those days, isn't it? Where like I hate these kind of days because it's. I talked about trying to find the balance earlier, and I think just to kind of conclude the conversation about today's game, it's one of those days where you get Celtic fans arguing with each other because you've got the ones who maybe go a bit too far with the pessimism and the kind of anger of it all, but then you get the people who are maybe like trying to calm them down but come across as too. It's just it's so hard to find that balance in the support, and really you just know we need to pull it back on Thursday with an impressive victory. To try and calm everybody a wee bit, because there's no need for us to be losing the nut.
It is not the end of the world, but I think a game like today, the main talking points I think obviously is just us. It's been allowed to show that our squad depth isn't as good as some people might think it is. We've got good quality in the starting 11, but I think is the further you start to go away for that initial starting 11, that's when you see, right, probably could be doing with a fair few enforcements on that bench.
Aye. Well, it's, you know, Tannadice, I mean, the nuts thing, we were talking about this, Dylan, as well. You brought us up. Brendan Rodgers' first ever trip to Tannadice.
I know, honestly couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
It's just insane to think about. But I mean, that's, you know, we spoke about this on I think we spoke about this in the podcast last week when you weren't here. Like, Celtic always getting the blame for like Scottish football and things that happen and blah blah blah. And it's not their fault that the big teams constantly shoot themselves in the foot and find themselves in the fucking championship for 5 years, like Dundee United did. Anyway, before we do move on, I'll open the floor to you both. Any points about the game that I didn't bring up that you would like to mention at all? It's one of those days. I suspect you maybe have raised it from your memories.
I know it's a bit early, but see what's left me wondering today. See when it comes to Ibrox, who are you going to start up front if it continues like this?
It's a good question.
Like,
it is genuinely
a while to go.
Aye,
They've got 2 games to decide.
And I suspect Ida might be given a start on Thursday.
Aye.
I have a feeling he might. He always seems to pop up against Motherwell, so I don't know. It's a weird one. Maybe ask on our derby preview or whatever happens. I don't know. Who would you start at the minute, Dylan?
No comment.
I prefer not to speak.
Johnny Kenny.
Well, I've seen people already saying that he's going to walk into the team when he's back.
The SOS call getting sent out to him.
Goodness God almighty. Aye, so that was today's game. We'll quickly move on from it, and hopefully on Thursday they can make it up to us. We will touch on Thursday after the half-time quiz. On that note, we don't have a full-time quiz today because we've got a lot of questions. It's Christmas time. We want to have a bit of a laugh, so we just left the full-time quiz. But we do have a half-time quiz, and it is a Who's That Tick that I have got for you this afternoon, which of course entails
music.
I played the music. Which entails me giving you the club in which a Celtic player joined from and which club they left Celtic for, and you've got to tell me who it is. Now, Kieran, since you weren't here last week, I'm going to give you the honour of choosing if you would like player A or player B.
Usually I'll just go player B, but I know for a fact I'll know who player A is.
I think you might be annoyed at yourself for taking player B already. So there is a reason why it's these two players today. I've tried to make it themed, and the theme of it is 2008-9. We played Dundee United a few times, of course, because they were in the top flight, and I believe they finished in the top half as well that campaign. But I have gone with 2 players who scored against Dundee United in that season. So, Dylan, for player A, which I think you can do it. He joined Celtic. I'm so sorry, Kieran. He joined Celtic from Motherwell and left to join Middlesbrough.
Scott McDonald.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
There you go. Nice and simple, isn't it? So, which means I shouldn't have given McDonald. I feel bad.
That's like one of my favourite players growing up and also.
So, Kieran, your Celtic player who also scored against Motherwell in this season.
Then Motherwell.
Sorry. because I'm thinking of McDonald's, who scored against Dundee United in this season. He joined Celtic from Wolverhampton Wanderers and left for Cardiff City.
Welcome to Beaky.
You've been cursed by the option B.
I don't know why the fuck I always pick option B or set B or never fucking works out.
I feel I should have looked through the other games and seen if anybody bar Scott McDonald scored. I could have gave you Glenn Lovens, Dylan. I could have gave you Samaras. He scored, I think, 3 against Dundee United in that season. I could have gave you Lovens, Samaras, McDonald, or Kieran's player, and I've given you the easiest. Right, Kieran, on you go. From Wolves to Celtic to Cardiff City.
I genuinely don't fucking know this. Lee Naylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer.
Fuck off.
Scored 2 league goals in his career, 3 league goals in his career for Celtic. It is Lee Naylor.
No way.
I remembered him coming from Wolves, but I was like, I didn't think he went to Cardiff City.
He joined
I
Cardiff.
remember Lee Naylor scoring a goal ever. All
3.
that reflection.
He scored 1 against Dundee United. Remember that? I'm pretty sure he scored against Hibs when we had the black and green vertical stripes. I feel like I remember him scoring that day, and I can't think of it.
He wouldn't have got credited for that goal against Rangers, would he have? Like, see when he took the free kick and it took the wicked deflection. That was my first Celtic Rangers game.
Oh, bit of Kieran
Trivia.
trivia. So there you go. Well done. Both men getting their answers correct and a very quick and efficient day of Who's That Tick. Yeah, there's so much to cover. We've kind of missed so much because we are recording a wee bit later. I don't want to cover Pentaldygate. I really cannot be arsed with it. I feel like it's been done to death at this point. But I think we'd be remiss not to mention the League Cup success / controversy. I'll come over at you, Dylan, on the left-hand side. I mean, it was a nervy game. It was a brutal game. What did you end up doing for it? Did you go to
so it was my birthday, so I was like,
That's
please,
right.
hopefully it's a nice, easy game. And nah, I thought I was going to pass away.
On
the
that-
nerves, man. Oh my God.
On that note, I forgot to message you saying happy birthday, Dylan. I feel terrible about
thought
it.
about that.
So happy
I
belated.
said it anyway.
Well,
Before, didn't I?
technically I did. But on that note, the game, horrible, nervy, penalty shootout went the whole way. But Celtic doing Celtic things, didn't let the pressure get to them on the occasion. They walk away with another trophy, and it's a good way to start your season and aim for a hopeful treble.
Aye, it's fair and neutral. It was probably a great game. First off was a bit rubbish, but aye, honestly, what a game. And probably to look back on, it's probably one of the best games like to watch and cover. But aye, the penalty controversy sort of overshadowed everything in it. But no for us, because we're still celebrating. It's still a great day out for us. I don't know about you, but I was actually feeling quite weirdly confident for penalties.
I was actually just trying to make sure my stream didn't die in the hotel room in Manchester, so I never really gave it too much of a thought. But I don't know. Do you know what the first thing that came to my head was? If anybody's got brains here, they'll go lone to the left, because Butland can't save lone to the left. But we done it, so it was a horrible. I mean, you were there. I mean, you took my ticket. Mm-hmm. How was it in the ground?
I mean, it was. When we scored the goals and like to go Kuhn's goal, I was like, right, surely to God that's it. And then after it all was finished and that, I found out how quick they scored after the kick-off. I was like, it felt quick, but I didn't realise it was that quick. It was
He
such
just
a
sat
signal.
down after we were celebrating and just looked up the cross was coming in. For God's sake, man.
But nah, I mean, it was as Dylan said, it'll be a good one to go back and watch, and it's good to win it in that fashion. But if you offered me that before the game, a comfortable win, I'd have took the comfortable win because I was getting chest pains come
I suppose
extra time.
it makes up for missing out in the 90th minute winner. And
I know, I suppose it does. I mean, it's a great way to win it. The feeling indescribable, but I mean, as Dylan said, all the penalty stuff that's still going on. Like, a week later, you're still seeing them seething on Twitter about it, which is
I guess
glorious.
it's a nice segue. I mean, it's gone on and on and on, and as I said, I don't want to give it much more airtime than it's already had on my channel, let alone anywhere else. But what you'd think it's the first mistake in the history of football, the way they've been acting.
Yeah. This is, you know, well, Ryan, this is the first VAR instant to ever go wrong. And it's against them.
Yep.
And there's what's the term they've all started collectively using it? It's a sustained pattern of assistance that Celtic have received for a number of years now, and they're now harping back and looking at making compilations that include decisions that were correct. Like I've been seeing the Johnson handball getting brung right back into the fold again. I'm like, he was actually kidding me on it. Fucking,
I know there's an asterisk here.
I'm like, it was offside. I'm like, don't talk to me about fucking asterisks.
Aye.
But have you watched the Copa 90 documentary about the World Cup win yet? Like, see that Eli? Like, I watched it the other night, and the Argentinians have got a term called Viveza Criolla, and it basically means like the fact that they love the fact that Diego Maradona scored that
against England
with his hands. Like, they get a fucking sick thrill at it. I'm like, that's new 2 League Cup finals, the perfectly onside Christopher Joling goal, and now this cup final that's marred in penalty controversy. So yeah, I feel like that term perfectly fits it. That's the way every Celtic fan feels now. I think it just feels that it was great to win it, but see, just seeing the fallout over a decision that wasn't Celtic's fault, but they're delving into the past at every official in the VAR room, Celtic supporter club chairmans and whatnot.
Oh, because Frank Connor has now become Frank O'Connor to some of them as well. They changed his name.
They've also forgotten about John Beaton and Bobby Madden. Well, the thing that's frustrating me is they're acting like it's a conspiracy. I hate when Celtic fans try and act like there's a conspiracy against us. There's no conspiracy against any team in this country, and I can't believe we're having to say this in 2024. The officials are just shite.
You need to just remind people who have an IQ lower than 10, because that's where these opinions come from. Ultimately, if you try and peddle any of these conspiracy nonsense on any side of the derby or the divide, you've got an IQ lower than 10. It does not exist. It's not a thing. The referees are terrible at their job, and they have been for the last fuck knows how many years. And it's not going to change overnight. And I hate this. I've seen all the Rangers fans giving it the whole, get the foreign refs in. What the fuck are they going to fix, like, overnight? It's not going to suddenly, they're not going to just do everybody out their jobs. Willie Collum gets replaced and everybody else, and these foreign refs are going to magically come in and fix things. I watch games in Europe all the time. We watch Celtic in Europe all the time, and some of the decisions are just as bad. It's almost as if you can't be a perfect referee, and you can't be a perfect official in any walk of the game, whether it's on the side of the park or in a room watching it on VAR. Human error is part of football, and it's always going to be until they decide to have fucking AI refs.
Every team's going to moan. We will be on here moaning, no doubt, soon about refereeing decisions. We were about John Beaton last season, but it's the fact that like people are saying, like, but you're moaning about it. Obviously you're allowed to moan, but when it was your turn to moan, you're saying, you can't be conspiracy theorists, nobody's against you, but now the shoe's on the other foot. They want cup finals replayed.
It was this time last year, I know, when Rodgers get banned as well, and it was like,
I think it was like March last year. That
March?
was
wasn't even a full year ago.
John Beaton at Tynecastle and that.
Because somebody obviously somebody pointed out the comment section of so Sky Sports posted the clip of Rodgers post-match where he called the referees incompetent, and the full section below it is Rangers fans saying that it's always Celtic blaming the refs, it's always conspiracy, blah blah blah, and fast forward not even 12 months later, and they're doing the exact same thing they claimed Celtic fans were doing.
It swings and roundabouts. It's always going to happen. We'll be back moaning about refs soon, then it's going to go back to them. It's just,
I think ultimately
nobody's ever going to be happy, but I always the way I always think is like, I've got pals that support teams that aren't Celtic or Rangers. They support weird teams in Scotland, and they must piss themselves laughing when they hear Celtic and Rangers fans saying there's a conspiracy against NAs, because obviously weird teams get fucked out with the refs a lot more than what we do, but obviously also it's more high profile and it gets put in the media and it's talked about for days and days and days when Clyde Super scored.
It's the Glasgow bubble, isn't it? That's what it is. And I don't say that hesitantly. I know for a fact that our football clubs and supporters live in the Glasgow bubble. We don't care about what happens outside Glasgow. I'm not saying that necessarily applies to me or anybody at this table, but for the vast majority of Glasgow's team fans, that is the case. So it is laughable. I don't blame people from fucking Dingwall laughing at us when things like this happen, because they should. I would, because it's hilarious. It's just that, I mean, Philip, come on, he's out saying that it's kept him up all night and fucking it's scarred him for life. Yeah, he's out cutting shapes in the Wonderbar dance floor last night. I don't think any of them know what they're on about, to be quite honest. Always a victim somewhere.
It's that way as well. Even if Leicester did get a penalty, who's to say they're going to 100% score it? Remember the last Cup final they missed the penalty?
Aye.
And even if they did score, it's that way. Look what happened when we scored to win 3-2 before we won the game.
Aye.
It's just how football works. Who's to say that I mean, it's all ifs, buts, or maybes.
I know, exactly. Could have fucking launched out of the bar for all we know.
Hopefully that's an end to the penalty talk now.
Oh, it won't be.
I know.
No, but because you know what happened? Celtic will go on and win. Well, I'm not saying they will, but if Celtic were to go on and win a treble this year, it'll be the tainted treble. And you only win the League Cup because we didn't get a penalty.
Only ever counts when Rangers win something.
Aye, of course. Get up them. That's all I can say.
Unlucky lads.
So good day for Celtic, and another trophy in the cabinet. I mean, 119. Can't complain. So yeah,
Can we talk about that Maida goal, by the way? Where did they pull that off, man?
where was that today? January, I thought he was pissed today all week. It was a great goal, wasn't it? Oh, it was just stupendous.
Dyson Maida, you never know what you're going to get.
Nah, it's a lottery.
Forrest Gump, man.
Just the touchdown on his other foot and then the finish. And I'm like, oh my God, just
Special. So that was that. We'll maybe look back at this at the end of the season, but we've got more cups to win. We've got bigger fish to fry. So a couple of other things that popped up through the week to cover, which once again I'd feel remiss if we didn't. Kieran Tierney, for the first time maybe ever since he left the club, it's looking like there's a genuine chance he could be a Celtic player again, which is, just like many topics this week, caused a real big divide amongst the Celtic supporters. You get one half of the support who are on the don't bother, he'll be injured constantly side of things, and you've got the other half of the support who are like, bring him home, of course, I want Kieran Tierney back. It's huge, Dylan, nonetheless. No matter what side of the fence you're on, it makes for very interesting reading.
imagine he could be got him back, man. It would just be brilliant like this. But I don't know about you, well, I'm assuming you would want him back, obviously. But because I've seen some people, I don't want him back. He's injury prone. I'm like, come on, man. It's Kieran Tierney. Like, just we've seen him when he was here as well. Just that. Imagine him and Johnston on each side, and Tierney and Maida. Just going to Ibrox as well. Just throw him right in, man. It'd just be unbelievable if we could make it happen.
A back four at Johnson, Vickers, Trusty.
He's in all the time at Ovens. Know what I mean? So
I know.
It's just.
I can look past the injuries, Kieran. I don't know about you. At the minute,
No, I honestly, I don't know why there's people that are saying they wouldn't take him. I think they're just saying that to be fucking different. Because realistically, Kieran Tierney, an Arsenal player at 27,
his prime.
Like, why?
Gone into his prime.
I don't get it. Like, let's use him like Tom Rogic. Can he play more than 60 minutes? Fucking, like, he went down a cult hero at Celtic.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know why you wouldn't take Kieran Tierney. Somebody has quality. He's got injury problems, but I think you take that risk.
It's the way things are lining up for me, which makes it a no-brainer. It would be different if Arsenal were like, oh, you can have him, but it's going to cost you £15 million. Then you're maybe going, right, whoa, right, let's pay. But you're talking about Tierney, who will be free because his contract's expiring, who has apparently came out and said he's willing to take a big wage cut from his £120,000 a week. He's playing for Arsenal, as you said, Premier League, top four side, Champions League side. He's a Celtic fan. He's club trained, which means it adds to the quota for European football. Now, I get it. His injuries do not look good. But there's so much that outweighs the chance of him maybe being injured for a bit.
I don't know why you would pass up on possibly the deal with the decade just because he gets... he has got a poor injury record, but it's to say, try to get some more consistent minutes in him. It might help. I mean, obviously, he came back and went half injured the other night, but it was cramp, wasn't it? He went halfway.
Yep.
Obviously, that's due to 6 months on the sidelines, but I can't wrap my head around the people that are saying, as you said, we're getting him, it would be on a free transfer. It can free up wages to actually pay him a decent wage. Granted, I do get people's scepticism saying we might need to get another left back, which I can see, but if we want to get Kieran Tierney, we're not going to go out and spend major money on a left back. I think you're looking at somebody to just play the backup role. But I can't wrap my head around people.
Here's how I look at it. You just tell me this. How long have we had left back problems?
Since he left.
Since Tierney left the club.
Greg Taylor's got 2 derby goals.
Since Kieran Tierney left the club, we have had left back problems. Now, call me stupid, but I think a pretty good solution to having a left back as good as Kieran Tierney is to sign Kieran Tierney. And Dylan, I don't know about you, but with these fitness worries, which isn't even a guarantee that he'll get a big injury again. Who knows? Maybe he'll miss games here and there, right? But there's no guarantee. It's not like he signs the paper and it's like he breaks his finger upon signing it. You never know, but I doubt it. as a manager, I trust Brendan Rodgers to be able to manage him a bit better, to give him the games that are necessary, and then play somebody like an Alex Barry maybe when he can't play. I think that there's a way Celtic can go about it to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. Especially the fact that you've said there, Kieran Tierney's worked with Brendan Rodgers for years. If anything, I know we got to start with Dial and that, but Rodgers turned him into the player he is. I'd go for as far as saying, and if you bring Tierney back, he knows the league, you know what you're getting with Kieran Tierney, like, you know what he's capable of. It's no a risk, as you said about the contract and that. So to me, it's just a no-brainer if he can make it happen.
Aye. I mean, say, I don't know, how big do you think this wage cut he would take would be, hypothetically speaking? Like, do you see him half in his wages?
He's probably made a lot of his money, didn't he?
Maybe more.
So say he was on like 60,000 a week. What's that a year? Let's get a calculator out.
Well, I mean, how much money do you think Calum McGregor's on?
About, I would say tops 40k.
40k.
Aye.
They're not going to pay him 60 grand a week.
Just hypothetically, right? If they did, there's 52 weeks in a year, so that's like, say we signed him even on a 1 year contract, right? That's, if he was to eat, and as you said, I don't think it would go as high as 60, but that's £3 million a year, right? And I don't know, I think I'd rather pay, say, 6 million on a 2 year contract with Kieran Tierney compared to paying another 5 million on a left back who might be a fucking dud before we've even paid him his fucking wage.
I'm done fucking about with balling goalies and Dago Laxouts and you want, people are saying about, it's too high a wages you'd want, but like, you're paying for a known quantity here to come in. You know exactly what it would take the wage cut to come back to Celtic. If it's all true, then I'd take him back in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And he might have offers for other places, maybe in the Premier League, but I don't know. At 27, if he does a few more years, and then he'll be coming back up the road anyway. So let's just cut to the chase, Kieran.
Save us all the fucking hassle of waiting now. I guess to finish that Kieran Tierney conversation, do you think he'll become a Celtic player again? If you were to hedge your bets on it right now, what do you think?
I would love to just come out and say yes, but I feel like nothing's ever done that simple with Celtic, so I'm on the fence. But the optimist in me's got to say yes.
What about you, Dylan?
I mean, I would normally say no and just try not to get my hopes up, just not to expect to be disappointed. But is that why you're getting the Sky Sports coverage and the rumours are getting more and more as the time goes? So I still think there's no reason why it can't happen, especially like Tierney Sports Celtic, blah, 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 and all that. So it's just, you never know.
I think with Rodgers in charge, it's just the best chance you've got in it, because we know they're still talking all the time, and he spoke about that at Leicester a good few times, and when he came back to Celtic he spoke about it when the rumours started, because they come up every year and we know they're good friends. I think this is probably the best chance you're ever going to get, and you should strike when the iron's hot, Sellik, in my opinion, and don't listen to the people that say no, don't get him.
We're talking about signing them with a backup option. How about we get Izagiri at retirement? Properly run it back.
Do you think, actually, to wrap it up, because I see a lot of people going, if we get Tierney, we can't get Barry, and I'm like, well, not necessarily, but do you think what do you think that would mean for Alex Barry? Because I'm going to cut to the chase here. If Tierney comes in, I'm pretty adamant, I'm adamant that Taylor will leave anyway, but if Tierney comes in, I think that definitely suggests that Taylor's off. But I don't know if it necessarily means we don't try for Barry with that $3.5 million release clause there.
I don't know if it's a case that if we don't try for Valley, I think it's maybe would he want to come to play. Like, at least if he came in, it was him and Greg Taylor. He knows he's going to be able to dethrone Greg Taylor at that left back spot eventually. But if he's up against Kieran Tierney, if he came back to Celtic, that's a bit of a different.
Aye.
You're signing Kieran Tierney to see out. If we sign him, he'll be here to see out his career. So, is that an attractive proposition for a young up-and-coming player at Barcelona? Why would he hinder his progression by coming somewhere that he's only going to play second fiddle? So I personally, if we were to get Kieran Tierney, it's not even if Celtic would try for it, I don't think Alex Barry would want to come back to stay.
Fair enough. Just wanted to see your opinions, really.
I'm the same as Kieran. I think that's... Aye.
You still rather Taylor anyway, or the three, don't you?
The Derby goal speak for themselves. My pal was like to me at the game, he's like, Greg Taylor, I knew he'd think mate. And then he scored the goal, he's like, no way, man.
He just isn't me in that hotel room, because I was like, Taylor, and then he's going, love you. Right, so to finish up before we get on to the viewers' questions, we should probably talk about Thursday's game a wee bit. It doesn't need a really in-depth sort of preview, but it's a big game for Celtic to try and bounce back from the shortcomings of the Dundee United game. Boxing Day at Celtic Park, first of all, what a rarity. I feel like we never get that.
I don't. When was the last one?
Don't know.
We're always away.
Aye, it was Dundee last year, wasn't it?
I mean, we were lucky with a Christmas Eve game
Couple of years back.
2 years ago,
Aye.
2022. Who's that against St Johnson?
I think so.
Charleston, wasn't it?
That was the
Wait,
day. Was that the day Craig
was that
Gordon
the day
broke
we
his
wore
leg?
Aye.
Aye.
Was that the day that we wore the away kit at Celtic Park?
Oh, might have been actually.
I
Aye.
think it was the 4-1. Aye.
Aye. But Boxing Day, nice. I've always kind of wanted a wee Boxing Day game. You know, go out, get a couple of pints, and it just sounds lovely. It's nice. On that note, Dylan, Motherwell, a team that can cause problems. We've seen cause problems, but at Celtic Park, it's just same old script, really.
I say it every time. I think it's the best game to come to. Like Motherwell sort of up and down season. I think with Celtic dropping points here, it's just a matter of getting to Celtic Park, back to the starting 11 we know, and get the 3 points and put the pressure back on Rangers, I guess.
I mean, I think it's this game coming up. I think obviously we need the result. That's a given. But I think performance-wise, that's where it's going to be judged. I think we can win the game, but it's how it's won. Because a lot of questions have been raised, and obviously with us dropping points, I think that, as I said, I think that should hopefully be the catalyst for us to try and the rocket up the arse to try and get playing well again. And you said getting the proper starting 11 back on the pitch, playing together. It's about getting yourselves ready, ticking off the games, getting the performance level up before we go to Ibrox, because we know what that game's going to be like, and we need to be at the top of our game for it. They're going to be melting up for it. It's just, you don't want to be going into that game worried about the way you've been playing. You want to go in with a confidence boost before it, and the players know what they need to do.
You're hoping that
People need to step up, take chances, be more creative. I understand it's different when you're away from home and that, but I just think we need to up the tempo a wee bit, and I think that'll be the message that we'll be getting conveyed to the players.
You really hope. I know, because you could tell. I think this is one of these ones that's going to start eating away at Rodgers a wee bit, hearing these kind of things come out of both the support and the media. You'll hear all these things about Rangers getting a wee bit closer. He'll want to put a break on that. But hopefully we see all the players return. Kuhn, Johnson, the like. Rodgers did say that it was hopefully only for today we'd be missing these players. Damn odd that. I wonder, I know obviously Johnson had the hip issue and stuff.
I know about an illness or something.
I don't know. Is that what I was about to say?
I feel like I heard something like that being said in commentary, but before the game I made the joke. I was like, is this like fucking 2021 or again when the team went to Kong after we beat Hibs in the League Cup final, and half of them got fucking COVID.
They went to the darts.
Next time you know, Kyogo gets injured, Joey Dawson's playing at McDermott Park. That was a fucking weird day.
It was like they done the whole no crowd pish, didn't they?
Aye. I had a fucking ticket for that day.
Right, lads, don't get too excited for Thursday. We're not going. I'm going to strip the crowds. Do you ever remember seeing I remember seeing a post, and it was like, there should be I don't know if you've ever seen this, there should be one game a year where there's no crowds, just to remember COVID and all that. I was like, fuck off.
Poppy seats.
So yeah, hopefully we see players return. Celtic need to do what they do best at home. That's win, and win convincingly. Of course, there is another game after that before we take on Rangers, so it's a busy week or two. He's got a score predictions. Is it too early for score predictions?
I don't know if it's just because we're right off the back of the day's game. It feels weird, reviewing a game that literally happened hours ago, and now we're looking ahead to a game 4 days away.
Aye, that's strange.
But I don't know. As it stands now, I'll go for a 3-0.
What have you done?
I've got a nice 2-0.
Me 2-0. 2 clean sheets. Love that. I'll go 4-0. It's Christmas, isn't it? It's Christmas. Twitter questions to wrap up. I'll let you host it, Kieran, because you've done a good job. Well, Kieran loads the questions. Any big plans for the week, Dylan? Christmas week, actually.
Aye, looking forward to Christmas.
Aye.
Have a couple of drinks.
Nice. Do you do anything
Maybe
special?
afternoon or day off.
we do not abuse any privilege. Do you do anything special Christmas time?
Just the usual. Just mum, cousin, auntie, and that. Just a wee drink, dinner. Aye, just a wee.
Sounds nice.
Usual, innit? What about yourself?
Well, we have a tradition. I go to the pub on Christmas Eve, the group chat. So we'll be in the pub Christmas Eve, but Christmas Day is boring as shit. But I'm looking forward to gathering Stacey. So That should be good.
Christmas.
It's a 90-minute special. Oh, can't wait.
I need to rewatch the 2019.
I'm going to try and bash
don't
them all.
remember it.
I'm going to try and bash them all starting like
See,
tomorrow.
I started that, but I was watching. I was like, I've seen this too many times. I don't need to rewatch like seasons 1.
Gavin Stays is why they weird shows where it's like, see, because it has an actual story. I don't think it's as easy to do that as you would do. Like, see, like the Office has obviously got a story, right? But the Office feels more sitcom-y.
Aye.
Where Gavin and Stacey feels more.
There's an overarching story.
Aye.
Shit,
So I feel like you can't watch it as much as you'd watch like The Office. I don't know. Maybe I'm not making sense.
We'll get started on
Didn't
the
even ask your
questions.
Christmas plans.
My Christmas plans. Got up to my sister-in-law's Mo's house for dinner. Always are going up, and then at night time I'll go to my girlfriend's house, family style, over into Boxing Day, and then
Dresses the Grinch and ruin things.
oh aye, charge £80 for the privilege.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Right, crack on with the questions.
We've got Cal here asking, how much do you think we'll miss the winter break? We touched on that earlier, but I think it's just because we're coming into like the time where the performances maybe start to drop a bit. We might have in previous years gone, alright, thankfully after that game that's us for a couple of weeks recharge. We don't have that now. How will that affect the performances and the squad?
That's a good question. Listen, at the end of the day, I feel like we shouldn't struggle because we're Celtic and because at the end of the day these lads are professional footballers. They should be able to handle it as it comes. Look, listen, the winter break will probably take somewhat of an effect. We see the build up of games, we see the performances dip a wee bit, but I don't know. I feel like we should be alright.
I think it's that way as well. Like, I know we all hate when the fit was off for a couple of weeks and that, but it was sometimes nice when, like, say you beat Rangers at the end of the year or the start of the year, and you get a nice wee break after that, and you know you've got the thing made. But it'd be interesting because obviously the diving right into Mel runs of fixtures, and you've got the Champions League this time, so we see. It'd be good to see how it plays out.
I guess on that note, it might actually be, I don't know, is there another way you can look at this where you can say it might actually be handy that we've no go at it, because it means, now put it this way, if we had the winter break we'd be coming back to like the Champions League straight away, whereas now we're actually going to keep playing. I don't know, I think I kind of prefer the thought of that.
See, in previous years it's like you've either been, it interrupts a good run of form and it disrupts the rhythm that the team's built up, but I suppose for teams that aren't playing well, it gives the chance to sort of say, right, what has went wrong up to this point, and both sides of the coin are not going to have that this season. So I think it'll be interesting to see how that affects not even just Celtic but the rest of the table as well.
At the end of the day, that's the way you've got to find just fighting a summary. It's not like it's just Celtic that's affected by it. Every team in the league is. So if it affects Celtic in a poor way because we can't keep up well, and the rest of the league should be the same, but it won't be like that because it shouldn't be like that.
Right, we'll move on. Decky says Johnny Kenny or Daniel Cummins for the third striker role, both deserving of a shot, but I think only one will get it. I mean, just on Daniel Cummins, it's not looking...
Looks like he's off.
It doesn't look like it's yet another youth player that's going to be going on to pastures new down south, and I think that's just the reality we need to deal with now. That it comes through the B team is getting snapped up before they even hit the first team. And I don't know how we combat that. We've spoken about it a million times, but on Johnny Kenny, I think he'll maybe get a run out in Scottish Cup or something. But I'm not going to try and put too much pressure on this boy coming off I mean, obviously a very good loan spell at Shamrock Rovers, but you can't expect him to come in and hit the ground running as a guarantee. So I don't know. I'm rooting for him that he gets a wee chance, but I'm not going to go and say he's going to be getting a run in the team.
What I would say, and I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy here, but people really need to kind of suppress their feelings about this one, and not suppress their feelings, that's maybe not right, maybe to suppress their expectations, because they're not going to get a lot of minutes, whoever it is, the two of them, and it might sound harsh, but it's just reality, I think.
He's a good Mackerel mode though, so hope it works.
Give him a chance. I would love to see him get a chance, absolutely, and I hope he does. And if he does take them, like, if you can get a goal in the limited minutes you get, good, because it'll get you more chance.
Ad the lad is here again. He says Stephen Bunton, get him signed so he can play a few games as striker. There's Adam got a different solution to the striker issue. But he says, anyway, poor result after that game. However, 4 points dropped all season. What a season we've had. All this overreaction is normal. Merry Christmas, lads. Up the Celts and the kebab pies. Merry
Oh,
Christmas
okay,
to you
right.
too.
Christmas.
On that note, Dylan, have you been enjoying the darts?
Oh, I've been loving it, man. There's a few wee upsets here and there, I know.
Aye.
Anderson's actually on, I think it's 9 o'clock. So,
Is he? Oh,
hopefully he does the business.
aye, that'll be good. I watched that game the other morning, the afternoon session one. We were talking about in the chat between the South African lad and the Dutch bloke, big. Wasn't it Nielsen? Was it? I can't remember. No. But oh my god, man, what a game for the first round! And I've not got watching too much because there's just been other things on and stuff.
Did you see that all last night, man?
Oh, I missed it.
He's a freak, man.
It's just scary. I seen the highlights, like I seen what I had to see, but oh my god, almighty, crazy. Thanks, Kieran.
Kieran Rogers says, will we ever see McGinley back? Disappointed he wasn't for the final.
We asked him.
We've been left behind.
Doesn't matter into Davis.
Thinks he's too big time now.
No, that Celtic way nonsense. Nah,
we did see him in.
We did.
Zagreb.
We did. We were clubbing
beers.
with him. You could say in the one nightclub that was open. No, we did that. He will be back. He has told us he'll come back on again. I think probably more my fault. If anything, I didn't ask him until the very last minute. Oh, could you do it tonight? And it was maybe a wee bit late notice. So we'll ask ahead of the next derby and see if we'll get him on.
5-1 would be good, wouldn't it?
I mean, God, I don't know how we'd set it up right enough. I'm looking around going, how? I know, I'll just sit there and
Somebody
let
just
you.
has to sit with a camcorder and well, which projects?
Like, we'll have somebody Lewis Bowden style there, like that pitch side. But we'll see.
We've got average Latifi fan here saying,
Oh no!
what do we
Nicholas
do with
Latifi.
Sinisalo? He's played no games since joining.
What do people expect?
But just on his point there, do you think he will get a chance in the game against Kilmarnock in the Scottish Cup?
No.
I think if it was against maybe a Bucky Thistle,
Aye.
maybe, but I think the fact that it's against Kilmarnock has kind of done him over a wee bit. But
Is it
so,
Rugby Park? Is it?
we've got them at Celtic Park
Celtic
in
Park,
Scottish Cup, but
Look, at the end of the day, he signed on to Celtic knowing exactly fine well what he was going to be doing this season, and that was understudy, and he'll probably be fine with that.
moving forward, but do you think he signed with the expectation of understudy this season, number one the following season?
I don't know.
Because the way it's gone with Kasper Schmeichel, that's not going to be the case.
Yep.
Looks like it's going to be another year for Kasper Schmeichel. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. He's still a young guy, so I don't think he's going to be exactly raging that he's not getting the start.
Do you think that at the end of the day there might be a chance where Sinsalo moves on just being one of those backup keepers who were there and never really played for Celtic? I think people have really built this image in their head of him being something that he never was going to be.
I think it's because he came in with a bit of a reputation. Obviously, it was for Exeter he was on loan at, but he came in with, like, it was quite rare for Celtic to get a backup goalkeeper, a young one that it felt like we had a bit of forward planning for the goalkeeper position, and that was the thing we gave the board credit for. But and that's what's made me think he will have a future at Celtic. But obviously, we've not seen him fucking really. So you don't know.
It's too hard to tell.
But thanks for the question, Kieran. Aidan says, do you think we'll see a lot of rotation before the derby? Are the same players playing across the next few games?
Good question.
What you start though?
I mean, we've seen it today. Like, I think we will see rotation, but I don't think we'll see as much as we did today if we can avoid that. I think it just depends on the way results go as well. I think if you no say we'll slip up, but if anything major happens, you wouldn't change it. But no, I think you'll see a couple of wee bits and bobs here and there, but nothing major.
I think it just depends as well on who's back from injury and how people are feeling. You know, we're probably going to have to do with people like Ralston playing more if Johnson's not quite ready to come back. So I think there's a few dependent things that decide that.
I think it's got to be a case of from Motherwell and then the following game against St Johnstone.
I was about to say, is it St Johnny?
St Johnstone, the 29th. I think you see the same team. Well, it's starting 11 anyway. You see, obviously, maybe different subs coming on, but I think you do need to build that sort of like reporting the team again. But we'll go into. We've got a good question lined up for the end here, a Christmas food related one. But we'll get this last one out the way for Kieran Wilson. And we touched on this earlier, and I brought it up. This was the question. Sorry for calling you out mid podcast, Kieran, but do we need to look for a replacement for Kyogo in January? That's the question being posed after today's 0-0 draw at Tannadice.
It's such a loaded one, isn't it? Because, I mean, realistically, you spent 9 million on Adam Ida and you should be ready to step in as the replacement. But I think, obviously, if Kyogo was to go out the door anytime soon, then you need to have somebody lined up.
I feel like the way the question's posed is if we should be actively looking to sell him. That's the impression I'm getting from the question.
Well, my answer would be, and I don't know if you all agree or if we'll hear you in a minute, I don't think we should be actively trying to sell Kyogo. However, what I will say is Celtic should be doing their work to prepare for the next option, whether that's Mateusz Kvisgaarden or whether it's whoever else. Celtic will be and should be doing their homework to see who the next big striker is at the club. Just like Kyogo was the next thing for Edouard, and just like Edouard was the next thing for Dembele, and just like Dembele was the next thing for Griffiths. You know, the cycle keeps going. But I wouldn't be actively trying to sell the boy. Dylan.
Aye, spot on. Sorry. No, it's that way, because I think there's that way. You're saying I've put you down with the money. You can always inform can change quickly with strikers later. So
I'm not going to get too reactionary after the day's game in terms of Kyogo. He needs to step up. We've said that all season. He's still got the chance to step up. You know what he's capable of. I feel like I'm reiterating the same things here, but I've still got the faith he can. And I suppose
one of the things we've not really acknowledged at all is the fact that there is still so much football to play as well. It's not like we're in March right now. We have got January, February, March, April, May to go. We have got 5 full months with European football, with another cup on the line, and with the split towards the end. There's so much left to go.
Thank you for all your football related questions. But now we're on to the main event here. Right, so we've been gained by Nathan Green here. He's gave us a tier list.
Yes.
For Christmas scran. Nice. So we've got goated as the top, then class, mid, and then bin.
Right.
So we'll work our way from the top.
So are we going to do our own opinions rather than a joint?
So I'll say, everybody goes
okay.
through and says what tier you put it in. So we'll start off with the classic Turkey. Where does Turkey go for you?
I'll let Dylan start off on the left.
I'd probably say with gravy. I wouldn't say I'd say class. It's not goated. I'd say class.
I don't know where I stand on this.
I am between the bin and mid.
I'm
not a Turkey man. Do you know what? It's gone in the bin because I can't. It's gone in the bin because I don't even have turkey. My mother asked me, "You want turkey?" No, so it's gone in the bin. I don't like it. It's dry.
See, I've had decent turkeys before, but I think not enough to put it anywhere near goated. Or I think different to you, Ryan. I'm between mid and class because I've had some nice ones. I'm not a massive turkey fan, but it's a staple of Christmas dinner. It's the proverbial bread and butter. But
there's no bread there, is there?
I'll put it mid, but in my head it's high mid.
All right, okay.
But
bin.
Right, so for the second one he's put potatoes. I'm gonna guess it's roast potatoes, judging by what else is asked.
Surely it's got to be roast totties.
Aye.
Right. Well, we'll just go left to right every time.
Roast totties, Dylan.
Goated.
I'll say goated as well.
He's goated.
I love the wee goose fat. Fucking.
See, this is so nitpicky, and depending on who's made them and how good they are, it's between, because sometimes you get my ma's roast totties, good, but like my granny done them better. No offence, ma. My granny done them better. And I don't know. It depends who makes them and who's, like, I'll go, sometimes we used to go to other people's houses. It's like, they're not as good. And then go to,
what if we go under the assumption that everything I'm going to read out is the best that it can be?
Oh, best it can be. So this is like some Gordon Ramsay type.
Everything.
Right, okay. Goated then. Goated. Right. Turkey's still in the fucking bin for me. But the totties, I'm going to goated.
Right. So we've gone goated for that. Mash. I've personally never had mash with any Christmas dinner.
Yeah, no with Christmas.
If I've got roast totties, I'm never going mash.
He jumped in there.
I'm not a mash guy.
You don't like mash?
Controversial.
I don't mind mash, but I think I might join you in bin just for the fact that it's a Christmas dinner.
Fucking hell, it's all a mash totty in the bin.
I know what food waste this time of year. But I just feel.
Can we change bin to donate instead of bin it?
Too good to go back.
I like mash, but I don't know if I've had it with a Christmas dinner, as you've said. But I wouldn't bin it though. I'll put it mid. Because
I wouldn't have been out on a normal day, but on Christmas, I'm going to
I'd still take it in Christmas. I'll put it mid. I'll put it mid.
Right. Gravy. I think this one's pretty
Have we all?
self-explanatory.
What you done?
You've got, that's your options.
I got goated.
Goated. It's good.
Goated.
Goated. It's fucking gravy in it.
Imagine having it without
Magic gravy.
drowning it in gravy.
Now great. What is it? The Peter Kay joke again. Now they have now moist. How's now moist? Aye, it's goated for me.
Right. This one here, I don't know if it'll split any opinions, but pigs and blankets.
Done.
I'd say class.
Right.
I'd say goated. Personally, I love them. I was shocked to find out that other people weren't as passionate about them.
I'd put them in goated. Aye, they are a
just think
staple.
they're
And
fucking unreal.
they are good.
So that's probably the best bit of that. Aye, I've seen.
Are you going to move it up? You're moving it up. Although I was shocked to find that in America, I think I was talking to this about you. In America, pigs in blankets aren't the pigs wrapped, aren't the sausages wrapped in bacon. It's sausages like wrapped in like puff pastry.
Like a toad in the hole type deal.
Type situation. So our pigs in blankets over here, I would go for goated easily.
I think that's a good placement for it. Then we've got stuffing.
Jumped in, goated. It might be my favourite part. I fucking love
See,
stuffing.
we never usually have stuffing in
I
my house,
love
but
it.
this year I've been promised there's got to be stuffing, and I like stuffing.
Oh, I love it. Goated. I don't get it. See, because we're not a turkey house, I don't really get it either.
I feel like I'm no fit to put it in any of these because I've never really had it with a Christmas dinner, shockingly enough. But
Goated.
You're a big stuffing guy.
See if
Well.
Eddie's got bits left. I'll have to give it up.
I'll take it. Thank you.
I'll come back and give my opinion on the next show after I've had it. Yorkshire puddings. I feel like this is the main one that's controversial on Twitter about whether it belongs on a Christmas dinner in the first place.
Yes, it does.
I'll say class.
I think I'd go. They're class. Aye. Because I was like, day they go and goated, I love them, but they're not exactly the main.
I'll go class. Because I was going to put it in goated, then I thought it's stuffing and pigs and blankets for me are just a level above.
Aye.
So I'll go class.
Brussels sprouts.
So this might sound like bin, right? But I'm going to give my mom a shout out, right? I used to hate them so much, right? But she's got a wee thing with recipe going and I've started liking them. So
Aye.
I'm just going to put them in mid.
Right.
Due to that recipe, but I hate them.
I'm going to say class.
I'm going to say class. I love Brussels. I love
No, like,
Brussels.
I've never been given them in the house, but see, for the past 2 years, the works Christmas party, both of them have had Brussels sprouts and both of them have been
Listen,
banging.
my mother will tell you. You ever speak to my mother, she'll tell you. Since I was a wee boy, I've always loved my greens. I've always loved my veg. There's not a vegetable out there I don't like. You name a veg, I like it. Love it. I love every veg. I'm not a fruit guy. Love my veg. I've always loved Brussels. And you know, I could arguably put them in goated for me, but I don't love them that much, so I'll put them in class. But it makes me think of the Peep Show Christmas dinner episode. There's little crosses in the bottom.
Well, Ryan, you'll love these next few things since you're a big veg guy. Carrots.
Mid.
Oh, mid.
I like them, but I just don't get buzzing with it. It's just there.
I do like carrots, but I'm not going to sit here and get overly passionate about them. Mid is where they belong.
Class. I love a carrot.
Mr. Vegetable out here, man.
I sit and chew them like I'm smoking. Now I've chopped the fags.
Then the last couple here, we've got cabbage.
Oh, your Christmas dinner, man.
Bin.
I'm going bin on cabbage.
For Christmas dinner, I'd be binning it. But once again, I like cabbage, but
I'm not a big cabbage guy.
it's mid at most. Like I'm putting it bin just for this conversation specifically. But if it was a general ranking vegetable, it would be mid because it's tasteless.
And then lastly, parsnips.
Go down.
Bin. I don't like them.
I've not had a great deal of them, so I think I'm going to just say bin.
Goated. I fucking love parsnips. They are so good. I love them. It's like, I don't even know. It's like, it's just amazing. I just love them. I feel so passionately about parsnips. Like, I don't have them more in a year. Why does it have to be Christmas? I love them. Goated for me.
That was fun, by the way. I like that.
That's good. I like it when people use the
Great
tier
question.
list.
Thanks for all the questions. For Christmas, I thought we'd had a few more.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I suppose we could dive more into it off our own backs and
Thunder Club. That's right. So if you want to become a Thunder Club member, you know where to go. Go below this
more
video.
mindless chit chat.
Mindless is exactly where we go. Anyway, that is us for the main episode, which I don't know what the run time is. I'm assuming we started recording like
Just after 7 maybe.
just
So about an hour and 10.
Aye, that's decent. We've got a quiz as well. That's pretty good. So apologies for no quiz this week, but we did have a lot to cover. We'll be back to normal in the next episode with all that. But thank you for tuning in. Hopefully there is one more episode left of 2024 and we can run through the fine details of how the podcast did. We'll give you some numbers in terms of views and shit. And we can say Happy New Year and close off what's been a great year for the podcast. But Merry Christmas to everybody when it comes. Enjoy your day, however you celebrate it. And don't let Celtic ruin it, whatever you do. Take the 0-0 and put it to the back of your mind. Merry Christmas. Any closing words, Kieran?
I think you wrapped it up pretty nicely there. I mean, I was thinking about saying it was just taking, but I know. Merry Christmas to everybody and thanks for watching all year. We'll hopefully be back with one more before we bring in the bells, but I hope everybody has a good one.
Just remember, League Cup champions, top of the league. Have a good Christmas, selves.
1-1.
119, come on! We'll see you all next time.